Hi, welcome. This is my workshop on living your passion, discovering your purpose. Let me go ahead and start my slideshow because I love to show you other things that are really helpful. Oops, let me start this. There we go. Ah, what is going on? There we go. Sorry, it's just a little disorienting with the two different screens. Sometimes I manage it well, sometimes I don't. So, welcome to Live Your Passion, Discover Your Purpose. I'm Kelly from Onward Toward Progress, and I created Onward to Progress to facilitate women navigating key pivot points in their lives to find positive transformation with approaches, resources, and tools that have helped me. So, I'm sharing what worked for me with help to help others. So, I hope we have a fun time today. Just to let you know some of my background. Again, I've been in education and consulting. I've had a mission to uplift and support others through lifelong learning. Right now, I'm doing dynamic life coaching, pivot point exploration, laughter yoga, and I'm also a youth mentor with a Phoenix based program. Personally, I love the aha moments and working towards transformation because, again, I don't want to just empower people, I want to help them become the best versions of themselves. For years, I believed being good at something meant I was what I was supposed to do. So I was good with computers and education and other things. So I was falling into what I would call the data entry trap, doing tasks I was skilled at, organizing, facilitating spreadsheets, but still feeling a little empty inside, like I wasn't doing anything meaningful. So, because of that, I realized that part of my process and part of my purpose was to help others through empowering and informing them of different options. And let's explore together what might be your passion and what might help you live a more meaningful life. And for me, I also went through a discovery phase where I discovered that joy is my compass. Am I having joy in what I'm doing day to day? That's when I know it's a good day. Otherwise, I like to explore, and we'll talk about this today, belief systems, excuses, and limiting beliefs. Because sometimes I feel like I get stuck in the way I think is the way I think, the way I do is the way I do, and I can't stop myself. But instead of taking the childhood or societal patterns that I maybe inherited, maybe absorbed, maybe thought of myself, maybe I want to decide, is that worth keeping or is it worth changing? And then sometimes the overflow principle hits me where I notice my cup is empty and yet I'm still trying to help others and I don't have anything to give if my cup is empty. So I think of the airplane analogy where if I don't put my oxygen mask on, I can't help others. So I need to remind myself to do self-care, self-nurturing and meditation in my case because I love calm breathing, centering and clarification time. So again, glad you're here today. I wonder, do you want to feel authentic and be in integrity with yourself? Know who your true self is. Do you want to feel like you're living in alignment with your purpose? Meaningful and fulfilling career? That's what I want. That's why I started this company. Do I want to be more passionate about what I'm doing? Do I want to replace limiting beliefs, excuses, or other things with more empowering ones? And do I want to create a life of my dreams? So if you're identified with any of those, you're in the right place. I hope this workshop will help you. And at the end, I do have a summary handout. So if you want some tangible proof, printable resource, as a former teacher, I love to give that. So how about right now I take a breath and I look around right now and I take a small hint of what's going on in my mind. And I think, am I overthinking or not? Maybe I am, maybe I'm not. Maybe I need to take a calming breath because as you can hear, I can talk fast. So why are we here? There's many reasons. To me, the one that jumps out is seeing a greater meaning in both my past experiences and my present activities. Maybe knowing what direction I want to go in my life. Maybe I've just been drifting and I'm not sure what I want to do next. So, again, keys to unlocking our passions can involve talents, passions, personality, experiences, and our beliefs, both those positive and the negative ones. But what Transition Academy, who helped me design this workshop with their great training program, reminded me is what might be the most important is our passion. Do we feel inspired in our lives? Do we know what makes us feel alive? What fulfills us to the core? And what makes us excited to get up in the morning? Many of us have forgotten passions and have just gone, pushed them aside, and just doing the shoulds, what society or maybe our family has told us is to be expected. Getting the 9 to 5 job because that's what everybody else in the family did. This workshop is designed to help you realign with what you love, what feeds you, and what inspires you to live a life of purpose. So, I will have some information at the end about exploring these in more depth, but for this limited workshop, here's some of the key topics we'll be at least exploring: childhood influences, passions and interests, talents and skills, your personality, life changing experiences, coincidences, eliminating, eliminating beliefs, clarifying your purpose, and writing a manifesto. What do you really stand for? I love that one. And again, I really want to help you think of those stepping stones as blocks to learning more about yourself. So sometimes our childhood influences might include what they call the big lie, the idea that our society and our upbringing does not influence what we become and what we do. But at the deepest level, it's always in the back of my mind, and it's always telling me my mom's voice, my grandparents' voices, and other people. Now I'm going to take time to reflect on how much I do and think that didn't originate with myself. And by doing that, I can explore what's going on within me so that I can be the best me I want to be. And making life choices that generally resonate with you personally, professionally, and spiritually maybe. The life you really want to live. So again, sometimes that might mean exploring your belief systems. Also can be shortened to BS, which maybe reminds me of other things, but or they can sometimes be the excuses or limiting beliefs that I've just absorbed and I don't notice that I'm doing, and understanding the roles that I've taken over in my life. So again, what else can I be an influence? How about passions and interests? These are the activities we lose ourselves in. What do we get into the flow that we lose track of time, where we're just having so much fun? That's why I love this picture of a dancer and inspires us, get us all riled up. Again, what do we do naturally and what are we passionate about? Slow down and tune in and become aware of what makes you feel great. Talents and skills. We all have things that we do well. That can be part of our purpose and sometimes it not. As I was saying earlier, maybe I'm very good at data entry. Typing can be a very good skill to have in the computer or the teaching industries, but that doesn't make it my favorite thing to do. What do I feel alive when I'm doing? What brings me true joy? And then if I want to, what stepping stones or paths can lead it to my purpose? Because again, what makes me feel good will make me live a better life and feel more fulfilled. Personality. Do we know our personality type? I'm one of those people who loves analytics. So when I took the Myers-Briggs and found out I was an INTJ, I was like, wow, I relate to this. I relate to that. Oh, not so much that, but maybe a little bit more this. And again, that gave me clarity on who Kelly was and what Kelly would do and what Kelly would want to do. So I'm very grateful to be here and to know about myself. I love exploring my own growth, and basically, it's important to understand your personality growth to develop a better understanding of where you want to be next and how people relate to you. How about life-changing experiences? Have you ever done a timeline of your life? Explored how you got from A to B and what you want to do with the differences of what you learned in that path? Maybe there's a pattern or a series that you keep repeating that you would like to maybe not do so much. Or maybe there's some that you've meant to do and haven't gotten to. What things will help you understand where your life is going to versus where you currently are? And what I love to observe is the plot of a story, kind of like watching a TV show. Where do I think they're going to go and what happens? Because sometimes our timeline for our life can get drifty versus path driven. And what experiences are leading to today, and observe your story to know where you want to be tomorrow. I also love observing the coincidences. Sometimes the synchronicities give us more experience than we could imagine. Those unexpected, unexplainable events that can't be rationalized, can't be explained. They may be coincidences or they may not. But there might be some greater meaning that can help me be the best version of myself by trying to look at this timeline and recall that maybe these coincidences help me discover more about me. What I also love is those limiting belief systems, excuses, or other things that are contradicting things that I've really learned in my life, but I don't notice it. Maybe I'm telling myself the couldas and shouldas and wouldas that were things that I learned in my teens and they don't apply anymore at this phase in my life. If we look hard enough, we can find evidence that contradicts these things. And sometimes we find that we then want to change it. And then it could be a snowball effect where we can become better and learn to not listen to what I call the tapes in my head that tell me what I should and shouldn't be doing. And then I love replacing those with new beliefs or positive affirmations. What keeps me going throughout the day to make me the best version of Kelly today? And then clarifying your purpose. Look back over everything and see how it all fits together. It's a big jigsaw puzzle. That's what my life has been up till now. What trajectory do I see my life taking, and where do I see myself going from today? I only can control where I'm going, not where I've been. But exploration of where I've been can also set me on the right path. Maybe write a brief summary of everything you've gone through and what we've talked about in this workshop, and see if there's one place is very powerful and clarifying that you want to move towards or the direction you want to be for tomorrow. And then what about a manifesto? Maybe you've discovered your purpose and you want to eliminate some of those limitations, those belief systems, excuses, and you noticed what's holding you back. Now you can take this newfound mission and go out into the world by writing a manifesto, a declaration of your beliefs, opinions, motives, and intentions. That's your passion. What makes you to be you, and how do you present that to the world and do it with purpose and with drive? The word why comes to mind. Why are we here? I want to tell everybody this is what I want to do with my life. And then, as I said, today we explored many topics and those childhood passions, pleasures, and everything else that may bring you to life, may help you. But now maybe it's time to explore what you want to do from now on. The passions may be what you love, but it also might be your current inspirations, the activities you're doing that give you pleasure, the things you love doing that you feel enjoy and have that flow moment where you lose track of time. And again, these interests can be powerful sources of inspiration to fuel you by feeding yourself and living with purpose and drive. The gifts, what do I have to offer? What traits, skills, other things can I do that will help others and help myself? When do I feel most alive and passionate about life, embracing who I really am and knowing in my heart that I'm doing what's best for me and helping others? That's my passion. Some of my best qualities may not be, um, maybe when I feel most in the flow, or it may be the times when I'm calmer and reflecting instead of hurried and doing the busyness of the day. For dreams, what do I really want? Is there a dream that's calling me? What do I want to do that will help others? And remembering them as I wake up in the morning, and then checking in at the end of the day to see how I did. What did I make progress in? And what do I want to do differently tomorrow? If I could do anything I want, would it be? And if I could be anything I want, what would I be? And then values. What am I standing for? Maybe um, I have things that are passions that make my blood boil, my heart pound, or things that tug at my heartstrings and that show me what's important in my life. But one of the things that will really help me is to understand that it is important to know myself and what I would like to change in the world, to be the change I want to be in the world, and then to be what I want to stand for. What about integrity? Maybe I want to share my passion with others. Maybe I want to be a force of change in the world. I have to know what those are and have those clear to me in order to move forward. Childhood wonder. What did I learn as a child that maybe I'm not that aware of? What did I want to be when I grew up? And then now, what do I enjoy? What did I enjoy as a child and why? That I might want to go back to. Maybe I've forgotten a passion for swimming or the joy I used to feel riding my bike as a kid. Maybe I should try those again. What about passions? What do I love? How about things like activities that bring me pleasure? What could I do that would be different and add in? What excites or energizes me? And then how about being passionate about things? It's a very interesting thing to consider all your passions. The gifts, what do I have to offer? What I love is sharing the things about the gifts that I have, both my qualities and when I'm most myself. When do I feel like the true Kelly is showing and that I'm sharing it with others? But when do I feel like I'm in the flow? I love that surfer picture because I don't know how to surf, but it looks fun. And then my dreams. What do I really want? Maybe I could have everything. What would it be? And if I could do anything, what would that be? It sounds pie in the sky, but if I'm not thinking about that, what am I living for? And then values. What do you stand for? Maybe your values are changing the world. How can you be that change? And what do you stand for? As I mentioned, one of my passions is advocating for youth. So I'm currently a youth mentor, and my senior in high school and I are getting excited about her graduation and her decision of which college to go to. And that is just such an exciting point to be involved in someone else's life and to see where they're going to go and how they're going to impact the world. And commitment. Can you live with integrity? Again, what are you committed to? Do you have values, dreams, the gifts and passions? What are you committed to? What's important to you? And what would you take to be living integrity? What would it take to be living in integrity? To feel that you're being your authentic self every day versus just being the version of people that expect you to be. I used to describe it as putting on the hat of worker bee Kelly, mother Kelly, daughter Kelly, and just being what I expected that others thought they wanted me to be, as if I could mind read. But now I work on just being the best version of me and applying this to your life. What would you do to bring more passion into your life? There's been a lot of concepts mentioned. What resonated with you to bring more passion, to have more direction and solid understanding of yourself? And how can you prioritize your time to feed these passions and fill your own cup? Because filling your own cup is very important. Sometimes we think of it as being an extravagance to as a giver. I feel like I should be pouring into others' cup first, but I need to have mine full in order to do that. I love these quotes from Les Brown. Imagine you're on your deathbed, standing on your death, the ghosts of the ideals, dreams, and abilities of talents given in your life. For whatever reason, you never acted on those ideas. If you were standing around with your bed, looking around at these large, angry eyes that came to you, and if only you could have given us life. Now you must die with us forever. The question is, if you die today, what ideas, dreams, abilities, talents, gifts would die with you? And I love the gravestone picture, so I put that up there. And then he has another story about that. What would you regret when you pass away? And I love this diagram of my only regret is not spending more time on the internet. I don't think that would happen, so I thought that was pretty ironic. And as promised, naturally, if you implement some of the ideas we've just explored, you could see amazing results. And if you want an outline of the topics I've just discussed to give a little bit of more detail, feel free to ask me for my stepping stone to purpose. And you can just email me. I'll give my email in just a minute. But recapping, how about living with integrity? What about having a fulfilling career? passion, and stopping those darn limiting beliefs from making excuses that say why I don't do the things that are important to me, creating my life of my dreams and fulfilling my purpose. That's why life purpose coaching or pivot point navigation, which is a great new term to say, I don't know where I want to be tomorrow. How can I get there? Maybe we need to explore that. I would love to personally coach you through the process of these stepping stones and go through detailed and fun activities to help you uncover and organize your key characteristics and desires. Maybe we'll brainstorm and clarify your greater vision and create a concrete action plan for living in alignment with your greater purpose. Because again, those were a lot of topics. And I think these key areas each deserve a little bit of time. And one of the favorite things I have to offer is choice. I believe awareness and action can change your life. This topic maybe gave you some awareness and some ideas for action, but feel free to reach out to me if you have questions or if you want this stepping stone summary, because what I'd love to say is I'm embracing my true calling, I hope, of helping others. And now I want to share that path and help others find their true selves and feel like they're living in alignment with their true purpose. And last but not least, thank you for watching. And I hope you learned something about yourself today. And I loved this information, and I discovered it partially through a great company called Transformation Academy, which has coaching programs and suggestions for topics and handouts. And I loved their program because I became a certified career coach as well as a certified life purpose coach with them. And if you want to learn more about navigating life, your career, or pivot point navigation, feel free to reach out to me at OnwardTowardProgressLLC.com. This is Kelly. Feel free to say hi, or I'm saying goodbye, and thanking for your time, and I hope you have a great day.